very tart. Okay, it's been a little bit of time, and I think we should catch up a little bit. The kids are all in bed. We actually put them to bed early, about 2 hours earlier, because we are preparing for school, which is starting in 2 days. And this is a big deal because it's public school, and it's the first time we've done public school at all with the kids. So the school thing is a very big deal. It's coming up in a few days, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how things are going now. A lot of people see the pictures and the views and they say, oh, look at those great views, those hills, those mountains, it's beautiful. And that's all very true, but actually moving in and the challenges we faced, I had a hard time with the transition, harder than I thought. Imagine moving to a brand new place you've never been to. You don't know anybody, you've only got the stuff on your back, literally the back of your van. You just invest all your resources and your energy and your time to make this move across the country. Nobody's pushing you there, nobody's set a deadline for you. It's 100% willpower and it's 100% of your own resources to make it happen. So you give it all you got. On top of that, during June, we adopted 2 kids, which we were definitely looking forward to and planning and very excited about, but that brings its own challenges. Oh, and we're also selling our house and moving into a new house at the same time. And I'd also add financial stress of just work, finding work, a new job out on the other side of the country. Those are pretty much all the major stresses in life right there within 30 days. New kids, moving, new house, new job. It's a lot to take in. And one of the problems was we had 0 room for error. We left quickly, I know that, but we had our reasons. Maybe I'll explain it sometime. We got a realtor, as you know, to sell the house. We had high hopes. It was a great neighborhood. We admit that there's a lot of cosmetic issues with the house. You know, paint and just some other kind of trashy stuff. Nothing significant like major systems like the heating or air conditioning. Everything worked, it just was ugly. We originally priced the house at $199, which we admit was kind of reaching for the stars, but that's fine. You know, why not? We had a little time. We thought surely within a month we'd find someone and we'd just negotiate down to something a little bit more reasonable. Well, as you know, we had to move out. I had to get a realtor. The realtor did a walk through the house and recommended $175. Okay, you know, it's kind of a bummer. And we accepted that, and we knew we'd have a $10,000 or so fee on top of that, so we would get maybe $165. Still pretty good. That's about $30,000 more than we owe, so we'd walk away with a good 30 grand, which would be a comfortable way to start living in our new house. You know, new furniture, things like that. Great plan. You know, you hear the suggestion you should paint your walls white before you try to sell. I thought, you know, whenever I go into a house, I immediately know I'm going to have to repaint the place. There's a great app that the realtor gave me, and it shows pretty immediately the feedback from the potential buyers. Don't like the colors. One of the electrical outlet plates wasn't screwed in all the way. Too much work. That's pretty much the theme of, I'd say, 20 or so walkthroughs. Too much work. I guess we have different expectations for the amount of work a house takes, but I think 100% of folks who were looking in this neighborhood that we were selling in wanted a house that was immaculate, ready to go, white walls. They just couldn't see past that. So the march down in price began. $164, still nothing happening. $149, ugh. Finally we got some interest and a person proposed $130,000. $30,000 less than we paid for it initially, and less than actually what we owe. Eventually they came up, and we do have an offer on the house, but it's still less than what we owe, and it's profoundly disappointing, I think. I was naive to think that people would be able to see past cosmetic issues. So I had this financial stress going on, the discomfort of being in a foreign place, not knowing anybody, not having any comforts of home. We didn't have beds. We were just sleeping on blankets on the floor. So this day by day. And just little things. Every morning I wake up and there's a new crisis, at least to me. I remember one day just being overwhelmed, basically. Not a panic attack, just completely physically drained. And I literally had to lay down on the floor. Andy, why didn't you lay down in your bed? Well, there was no bed. You just had to lay down on the floor and freak out. So this daily recurrence of bad news just kept on hammering at me psychologically. And there's a line in, I think, the movie You've Got Mail, where Tom Hanks says, "Do you ever become the worst version of yourself?" And as you know, you often take out your frustrations on the people closest to you, so I became a pretty terrible person to be married to and hang out with. Just because, I don't know, one illustration that I bring up, and I brought this up a few times in the junior high Bible class back in the day, was this concept of your reactions. You imagine, say, a lemon. You can imagine what it might taste like from the outside. You see its nice yellow color, looks bright, looks happy, looks tasty, looks sweet. But if you give it a little squeeze, put some stress on it, maybe some pressure over time, and then you get to see the juice. You taste what it's like. And it's not so sweet. In fact, it's pretty sour and can be repulsive. I think we as humans, we often don't see what we're made of until we're squeezed and stressed. Our reactions in stressful situations, we often excuse and say, well, that was just a weird situation. That was just a high stress circumstance. That wasn't really me. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, it was a real high stress situation and it was an unusual circumstance, but those were your real reactions. Those were your real feelings and emotions. And that's a hard thing to deal with, realizing that you can be a pretty nasty person when you're barraged with stress and discomfort. So eventually I just realized, and I told myself after reaching a low point, that I just got to get it together. Finances and stress are not your identity. In fact, things are going to start turning around. It just takes a little time. The house is going to sell. May not be as high of a profit as I would like. In fact, it's no profit. The neighbors are actually taking some initiative and came to us, welcomed us to the neighborhood, brought us cookies, so we're getting to know people. I'm going out in the community, joining some groups like the Arts Council, the Chamber of Commerce, things I would never do before, but I realized I need to make connections here. I don't have any connections. But I still stand by what I said before. This is a great town, great house, great community. It was just very hard to appreciate it. When I looked out on those hills, I didn't see beauty, I saw stress. Like, I can't take time to appreciate this. I've got to take care of this house sale. I've got to get work. Boy, I sure would like a mattress. Oh yeah, we did buy a mattress, by the way. So things are coming together. Life is getting more comfortable and more normal. I'm just disappointed in myself that I let the stresses of life get me down, and I've just been a pretty crummy human being the past month or so. And I just had to come to terms that even if the house didn't sell, it doesn't matter. That in the grand scheme of things, I'm not even going to remember this house sale probably. So let that go. That's not your identity. Life's still going to go on even though we have to take the harder route to get furniture. Amy and I have a great schedule coming up to work and finish this album, and it's going to be good. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.